I've lived this. I've studied this. Here's the truth. So I was actually planning to do a post on not quitting when things get hard. That was the topic. But as I pulled out my phone to journal, something kept nudging me in a different direction. Not don't quit, but 2 words. Go forward. And I resisted at first because that phrase felt sacred. It was personal. It was something God had given me for this year. And I did not think it was for everyone else. But the nudge didn't go away. So I went back to my journal entry from December 31st, the very first time I journaled about going forward. And here's what stood out to me. For the longest time, some of my favorite Bible verses were the ones about rest. You know, the one that says, be still and know that I am God. The one that says, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. I loved those verses because they felt like permission to stop, to exhale, to do nothing and to let God handle the rest. And that season mattered. I needed that stillness. But when I went back and actually read the context of those scriptures, something hit me. Because right after Moses tells the people when they're standing between the Red Sea and the Egyptians, right after he tells them to stand still, God says to him, why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to go forward. And then with Jehoshaphat, right after the prophecy comes that the battle wasn't theirs and then they should stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, the very next instruction is, tomorrow, tell the people to go out against them. Stillness was never the end of the story. It was preparation. And then I realized I've been very faithful in the resting season. Even when I was spiritually stagnant, God still took care of me. He still carried me. He was still good. But at some point, rest turns into a call to movement. At some point, faith looks like effort, like action without guarantees. And then here's the thought that stayed with me. If I trusted God to bless my rest, what if I trusted Him just as much to bless my effort? What if going forward doesn't mean we have it all figured out, but it means we're willing to move anyway? So if you're in a season where stillness carried you, and now you feel the quiet push to move, maybe it's not pressure, maybe it's permission. Go forward. Sit with that.